Here we go. Ian McHarg, Music of the Mountain. This is an album that Andrew O'Sullivan kindly sent to me a while ago, and I have just been loving it. He sent me a few albums, and they've all been great. And then Andrew O'Sullivan, he's a guy who I would say, if we can convince that guy to, if we could convince him to, start a podcast or curate some playlists or something, I think they'd be good. Andrew O'Sullivan is a good resource for recommended listening, in my experience. That guy's got a lot of good music in his head and knows where to find it. So. But here we go. This is a new thing. Gonna give it a try. Gonna let this bug out of my car. I'm at a stop sign. So Rachel and I this morning were trying to think of good, like Ira Glass-esque lines that I might say. NPR, this is my bid for field job, syndicated position. I'm not sure what exactly you call that. To travel around the country. I'm not opposed to it. I'll travel around the world if you want me to. Reporting on bagpiping events. I'm Ira McGlass, and this is Bagpipe Life. Well, gotta fill up with gas, I guess, before I can make it to the Highland Games. Just about everything now that I'm thinking about what I'm saying, everything feels like it could be a tune name. Gas before the games or something like that. Petrol for the pipes. I feel like it's not just the vehicle that needs fueling up. I think probably an important thing to grab before spending all day out in the hot sun is an irresponsibly large can of Red Bull or something similar. Sponsor the show, Red Bull. Like so many multicolored ants, I join with the others shining in the hot June sun as we scurry our way northward. Perhaps I'm the only one with this particularly pleasant destination, though I feel sure I'm joined by others. As we scurry, no, can't use the word scurry again. As we blaze past the sage and scrub oak lining the I-15 corridor, casting occasional envious glances up at the mountain peaks to our east, north, and west, still capped and filled with rivulets of snow from last year's dumping. Oh, man. These Ira Glass intros are harder to come up with than I thought they might be. I think this is going to be the main game for today, is just anytime I hit record, I have to do a This American Life intro. So, this is something kind of different for Droning On. I guess, like I have said before, there's no facade of professionalism to preserve here anymore. So why not just be completely open with the process in terms of like how the sausage is made? This sausage ain't even been made yet. But this is an idea that we've toyed around with. My wife and I and Mike Swan has brainstormed some with me as well about ways to do like a live episode from in the field, you know? And we've done prep work for it in the past and kind of planned to make it happen, and I just have never made it happen. And this was kind of spur of the moment. Rachel was just like, this morning, she was like, hey, you should take your mic and just see if you can get something out of it. And I felt up for it. So I've got the mic with me, and we're just going to see what happens. So some of the stuff that we've talked about before and that I've thought about maybe doing would include like, maybe I should turn the music down a little bit. That's one thing that's going to be hard about this is I don't know. I didn't bring any headphones. I don't know how this is all coming through. I'm trying to glance down at the levels now and again, but that's not safe to do while driving. So not a whole lot of on the fly adjustments to be made here. Just hoping that this all gets captured in a decent way. But some of the ideas that I've had, kind of jokingly, this American life monologue kind of thing could be fun. A while ago, Jeremy Kingsbury and John Charles and I were chatting about how fun it might be to find a soloist or two, or maybe members of a couple of bands, and kind of check in with them maybe in the fall of the year previous and see what tunes they're getting ready, what their plans are, if they're hoping to to regrade, kind of get a little mini bio pick thing going with a few people, and kind of follow their stories through to a competition or two, and kind of just play out a few months of that aspect of their lives. I think that could be really fun. Obviously, don't have the prep work done to pull that off this time, but that could be fun. Maybe we'll do that in the future. I also thought I've got a whole pile of Droning On stickers here, because the one idea was to capture mini interviews with just festival attendees, just kind of maybe get a feel from the common folk, from the citizens, the non-pipers and drummers for what is it that brings them to the Highland Games, and what is it that keeps them there, and do they come repeatedly, or is this a kind of thing people do once, and do they think about bagpipes and drums, and if so, what do they think? I do wonder how opaque our whole competition system might be for a lot of people. They just know that there's bagpipe music happening somewhere throughout the day. It might feel like that's just part of the entertainment, which maybe that is its main value to a games organization. I don't know. I wonder. It could be interesting to talk with. Maybe I should add this question to the regular interviews. For people who have sort of joined into the competitive piping and drumming scene later in life, if they remember what it was like to go to Highland Games festivals before being plugged into the scene, and what the piping and drumming meant to them. I suspect that would be a population of people for whom the piping and drumming probably played a larger part than for everybody who's at these festivals, just because they ended up playing pipes and drums eventually, I wonder though, because I did have one experience once. I was doing sort of MC work at the Payson, Utah Games, at the competition there with my buddy Zach's older brother Cody. The idea was that we would be like a Sattler and Waldorf kind of thing, and it was a lot of fun to not just announce the bands and give their bios, but also to kind of have some jokes and stuff throughout in between competitions. It was a lot of fun to do. But there were just a couple of younger people who were, maybe intrepid enough to walk up to the table and ask questions. And yeah, they had all kinds of questions, like, where are these bands coming from, and what are they doing, and who are these people with clipboards, and how do they get qualifications to judge? And also, what are you guys doing, you who are sitting here with the microphone? And that kind of made me realize, oh yes, this is maybe in a lot of ways what we're doing is we're doing this for ourselves and for each other, and there is a public there. We set up bleachers and risers for people to come and listen. But are they the main audience? I kind of think maybe we are our own main audience, and not that that's bad. That's just a thing that I hadn't really considered, maybe partly because the competition has been the main thing for me personally since I was 14 years old. Yeah, I think I definitely went to a few Highland Games before that, but even then it was always with the idea, see those pipes and drums, you're going to do that someday, and so anyway, that's one idea that we've had. This whole thing might be a huge mistake, taking the microphone with me, because I'm not good at monologuing like Jeremy Kingsbury or Rab Lennox, being able to make a solo show. I worry that having a microphone might just, I might just blather even more. I might just drone on even more, because there's a microphone there, and quantity does not trump quality, I think. But Another idea that we've had, of course, would be to interview bands, like members of bands, at the band tents. Kind of just talk about all kinds of things, What are your hopes and plans for this season? Talk me through your process for how you do the logistics of a competition day. Where's the whiteboard that has the schedule up on it? Does the band bring a cooler full of drinks? Who shows up early to set up the tent? That kind of stuff. Maybe a before and after kind of thing could be fun. Like what event are you about to go play? Oh, okay. What tunes are you gonna play? All right. What's been hard? What are you excited about? Do you have any surprises up your sleeve in terms of harmonies and stuff like that? And then capture the competition and then get a post interview as well. Like, how do you feel like that went? What do you think you'll try differently, if anything, next time? That kind of stuff. That could be fun. And also capturing the judges too, having the judges there present could be a lot of fun. They're always going to be interesting characters to interview, because of their experience in the competitive piping and drumming world anyway. Probably wouldn't be kosher to talk to them about that day's specific competition, of course, but just to hear about themselves and what it's like. What do the rest of us pipers and drummers maybe not realize about what it's like to be a competitive judge, traveling and stuff like that, But I wonder, I guess, so in the context of today, though, I am going to be sitting at the competition table to just do the MC work for the competition. And so there are a lot of these ideas that probably they're probably not practical to try to do this time, just because I won't be so free to wander. I'll need to be tied to that table and ready to go for introducing bands and stuff like that. But maybe we'll try. We'll see. My thinking here is just like, I feel chill and up for just running the mic throughout the day, today and tomorrow, and just see what comes of it. And sometimes you can plan, but really the only thing to do is to try a thing. That's kind of the impetus for the Droning On show entirely anyway. So that's just being true to the roots there. After having talked about it and hemmed and hawed about it and tossed ideas around and tested it and stuff, finally just kind of had to do something and see what would happen. And an increasingly clear formula maybe starts to sort of surface as you just keep trying, You learn from your mistakes and that kind of thing. So maybe that's what this is. Maybe this will be the messiest and least enjoyable first attempt at something that could become a somewhat regular feature of the show, possibly, field recordings. Maybe we'll figure out what works and what doesn't. So maybe this time, since I'll be tied to the competition circle during the competitions, maybe the thing to do is, I don't know, maybe we'll do that. I don't want Big Rab, if you're listening, man, I don't want you to think that I'm horning in on your racket at all. That's not the intent, but maybe that's what we'll do, is maybe I'll capture the audio from there and share that and just see how that goes. Of course, now Rab, just so everybody knows, if I'm capturing the audio at the competition, that's only going to be because I'm also bringing along a camera and another mic that I'm planning to set up on a tripod to capture the entire competition to send to Rab for his coverage of competitions. So, if I pull the audio from that for this episode, that's still going to be with video over there with the Big Rab Show for them to do as they please with it, just because I love the Big Rab Show and am so happy to try to contribute a little bit to the good work they're doing over there. So this is not the Droning On podcast trying to take over that aspect of the Big Rab Show. They have got that down, and they are so good at it, and it's not really what the Droning On show does, I think, necessarily. But maybe that's what this episode will be, just to kind of try stuff out, And then the next competition that I'm close to will be the Payson Games. And so maybe we'll try some of the crowd work stuff there, some of the other interviews and stuff like that. Maybe that's what we'll do. Though, Barry Shears is going to be at this one, dagnabbit. I would really like to talk with that guy. I am very intimidated by him because of how awesome he is. But maybe I'll see if I can talk to him a little bit, or at least convince him to come and do a regular podcast interview on the Droning On show. Well, I guess we'll see. We'll see how this goes. What happens? I'm gonna. Every time I turn off the mic, I'm just gonna be working on more Ira Glass openings. So, here in a couple seconds, when I turn it back on, hopefully that's what you'll hear is a really stellar Ira Glass intro. The traffic comes to a sudden, terrifying, and sketchy stop, not unlike an undesirably messy cutoff at the end of a bagpipe competition set. It was okay. Now could use some work. With traffic, the Utah game is about an hour from my house. Without, I bet I could make it in 45 minutes, but traffic's pretty rough today. Got a lot of motorcycles being, hot season now, and they're lane filtering around. And sometimes I'm a pretty cautious person. I'm mostly terrified of the idea of riding on a motorcycle. But when I see them lane filtering around all the traffic, I do think, wouldn't that be nice? I had a thought, of course, when I was a kid, my friends and I would play around with tape recorders. Do recording music and recording like fake radio shows, giving intros to songs and then copying over our favorite music like off of CDs or off the radio onto the tape and stuff like that. And I do remember having the experience of realizing that you could, if you in real time knew that you were going to be away from the recorder for a while, you had there's this natural tendency to say something like, I'll see you in a couple hours, something like that to the tape recorder. Then you hit stop, then a couple hours later you hit record, and you're like, and I'm back. But then when you listen back, an instant passes in between those two, and so it sounds kind of weird. And I feel like I'm feeling that same kind of tendency right now doing this. The balmy morning has been replaced with a blazing afternoon. The bird song that we heard has long since ceased as the avian crew have gone to roost, to hide from the unforgiving sun beating down upon the brows of the bagpipers and drummers. But a new sound has filled the air. The massed bands at the Utah Highland Games 2024. I only hear it from a distance because I've been cruising around looking for somewhere to park blocks and blocks away. And so, like many others, I now prepare for a long trek to reach the front gate. As I walk, my footsteps naturally fall into the rhythm that I can hear echoing over the grounds from the massed bands, and the gentle back and forth sloshing of the contents of my belly better acquaints this morning's microwaved breakfast burrito of Jimmy Dean's sausage and egg with the day's first of several cans of Red Bull. Red Bull sponsors the show. One thing that every time I participate in the games where I'm not playing music, I come away really wishing I'd been playing music, or I spend the whole time there wishing I was there competing, But as I'm getting closer and closer to the actual event here, the instances of kilt bearing are increasing, and I used to just love any opportunity I could get to wear my kilt. And I don't have anything against wearing kilts, but I'll tell you what, one thing I do like about participating in games where I'm not competing is not having to wear, not the kilt, it's the socks, the hose. Those wool socks. I'm just here in a t-shirt and shorts, and boy oh boy do I feel free and comfy. I think if it were up to me, I might make full allowance for people to compete in whatever clothes they wanted. But maybe that's why it's not up to me. Maybe it's a good thing that it's not up to me, because they do look nice. I do like seeing them around. Kilts are fun. Hey, I'm here to MC for the pipe band competition. I don't know if Jeff would have left something here for me for roll call, or if he's got it with him. But
what is your name?
Last name is Moyer, M-O-Y-A-R. First name is James. Though if Jeff Mann
set it up, it could be that he's just got multiple entries, like multiple entrances under his name, possibly.
What's his last name?
Man, M-A-N-N. It's for Westpaba, WSPBA.
We gave her our names.
It might be
She's
under
waiting for
just
you.
the West Point, because I think they have them under...
Stupid parking. I just keep getting all this crap.
I
just
don't.
want to pay.
I
She
don't
just
know
wants
how
to
to
pay
do
for the
that.
parking.
I was trying to figure that out myself.
Okay, we don't... Alright, let's give him a wristband.
Thank you kindly. I can get info from him and bring it back if that would be
Oh, that's
helpful.
okay.
Okay.
We'll get it figured out.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. My increasing heart rate beats in 3-part harmony with the pulsating vein on the side of my head and the throbbing headache inside of my head. Dagnabbit, these are hard. I feel slightly more stressed is what I'm saying as I try to get through ticketing and make it across the park over to the competition tent or competition area before competitions start. Road to hell paved with the best intentions and all that kind of stuff. I always think I'm leaving early. I always seem to be running late. I don't know to what degree I should keep up a monologue, a descriptive monologue, or just capture the ambience. Walking through some vendors here, lots of delicious smells and some less delicious smells. Lots of cute little Scotty dogs. Can't help feeling some stab of guilt now as I look upon my fellow pipers and drummers standing at attention for the massed bands, and I'm not there suffering with them.
If you come back tomorrow and hear them say those are many people's favorite, Amazing Grace. And now, folks, they will salute you as we march off to probably the most well-known bagpipe tune in the entire world.
Wow, Disney Speedwalk.
Scotland the Brave.
Here we go. See if this mic picks it up. And go around the other side.
Well, I know where the bands are getting tented up. I'm still trying to find where the competition staging area is. Oh, I think I have a windsock for the mic. Maybe I ought to put that on. This is making for good radio, I'm sure. Here's my internal monologue. Hey, look. Live music. A bunch of talented kids there. A lot of mandolins and a harp and fiddles and one very happy child sitting on a cajon. It's good to see. Oh, now this is where the competition was last year, but it's not here this year. Oh, here we go. QR code for a virtual program. Let's go get it. Well, tells me what time everything's happening, but not where. There we go. I see a bunch of pipers and drummers walking around. I'm just going to follow them.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, Alex Kelly.
It's
how are
me,
you?
Alex Kelly.
Look how long your hair is.
Oh my gosh.
I'm recording us talking right now.
Just for your podcast?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
I was saying to the microphone a few minutes ago that like Mike Swan and my wife and I, we've all been chatting for years about how to do like an in the field episode.
Uh-huh.
And all the ideas were better than what I'm doing, I'm sure.
I mean, I really like your microphone stand.
Thanks.
It's
That's
incredible.
That's the one part of this that I do feel good about. I do feel good about
and
that.
You should.
Maybe I'll make that the image for the episode so people know what we're talking about, how excellent this handle is.
It seems like a very good idea.
That's
how excellent.
Now, Al, if you don't mind me turning you into my subject here,
Sure.
How'd you feel about mass bands this morning?
I feel like it was a bit of a mess, and that's all right.
Ain't that always the way?
That is the tradition of mass bands. So.
I feel a strong sense of guilt when I'm in a situation like this where I have a reason to be at the games, but not in the capacity of playing. So I'm in like comfy short crew socks.
Yes.
You know, and I'm not standing at attention in the sun for mass bands. Do you think I should feel guilty?
I think you should not feel guilty.
That's really nice of you. I was expecting a little bit of a ribbing, you know.
Enjoy your time, you know. If you're going to come here and talk to people, you might as well be comfy.
What do you think of those levels? Does that look like it's...
I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to be seeing. I don't know.
You know, I really don't know either. So that's maybe I shouldn't have a podcast. I don't know. Maybe I should have figured this stuff out by now.
Yes.
So, your hair's really long.
Indeed.
I'm jealous.
Thank you. I'm not. I really want to cut it.
I'm thinking to grow mine out.
Like it. Have you ever had a long hair?
Never had. It's the longest it's ever been for me right now already.
It looks very nice.
Oh, thanks.
But yeah, it just gets everywhere, and you have to brush it after you shower.
What a pain.
It's a pain.
I usually don't even wash my hair.
Also, I'll fill in all of your listeners on this fun detail. I first started growing out my hair, and it got almost long enough to put in a ponytail, but the fronts were just a little bit too short to make it all the way back to the ponytail. And so, in a rash decision made by a person who's never had long hair, I shaved off like the very front line.
Yeah.
And now, even though my hair is quite long and I could ponytail it up, I still can't without the front hairs falling out because they've had to catch up.
That's a hot tip for me.
It's a hot tip. Don't just cut off the first few hairs that won't fit in your ponytail when they first don't fit in your ponytail.
But though today you've got the Glengarry.
To bite you, yeah.
The Glengarry's here helping you out today, right?
Indeed.
So wait, who are you playing with? This is
Utah State.
Oh, Utah State, of course, yeah.
So I'm up in Logan now, and
Utah
conveniently
State.
they're up there too.
Is it the Utah State University Scotsman Pipes and Drums
It might
Corps?
be the Scotsman Pipes and Drums, but I think it might just be University Pipes and Drums, like the Utah State University Pipes and Drums.
Is it, so it's not a students-only operation these days, though, right? It's like a community band?
It always has. I mean, as long as I've been attending, it has been.
I see.
So, yeah, we got a couple of people who are the more senior members who are definitely not students anymore.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
A faculty member, and then several students as well. So
Cool.
yeah.
Well, I was looking at the competition schedule for today. You guys are doing, is it 2 sets? You doing the...
Yeah, we're doing Quick March today and then an MSM tomorrow.
I'm going to go ahead and be vulnerable and expose my ignorance to you, Al. I'm never sure if it's Quick March or Quarter March. Are those both the same thing, or are those two different
I don't know. I've only
events?
ever heard it called Quick March, and I really don't know.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know what qualifies as Quick March. Like what marches.
What makes them quick, right?
Like, what needs to go into a Quick March medley? I don't know.
It's just a question of if you play it quick or not, right?
I guess.
Al, thanks for accompanying me.
Yeah, man. It's really good to see you.
Well, that's everybody getting ready at the band tents now, and now I see Diana, so I'm going to spring myself upon Diana. Hi, Diana.
Hi, James.
I'm doing field recordings. What do you think?
Oh, nice. I like this idea.
It just barely occurred to me I should put the windsock on the microphone, but maybe
I was wondering how that was going.
Yeah, maybe I'll cover it with my hand. Maybe that'll help.
Oh, okay.
So you're here with the Payson High School pipe band today, yeah?
Yes.
Now you and I, we played together in the high school pipe band. Those were good days. Did you
Yes.
ever think when you were in high school in the pipe band that someday you'd be running the program?
No, not at all.
That
I just
wasn't
thought
like-
Carrie would do it forever.
Yeah, well,
basically.
Why didn't she, right? Why didn't she? Do you think
I
you
don't
have some
know.
insight now as to why a person wouldn't want to do it forever, or has it just been
Because
pure
they're
perfect?
sane?
Because they're sane.
No, I'm just kidding. No, she did a really good job with it. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
she
I don't
did.
know. I
She
think
was
it just
the
became
best.
too much. Oh, and she was getting like a master's or something.
Oh, that's right. And did she move away? I think that might
No,
have been
she's
part-
still in Payson.
Oh, really?
But I think she like kids at home and getting a master's, so that's like tons of things.
Yeah. So what do you think? Someday, Diana, I want to have you and Carrie and Leanne and Lynette
Yeah.
all on the show to talk about what it's like running a high school pipe band program. What would you think
That's
of
a
that?
good idea.
Do like a panel?
Yes, that'd be fun.
Maybe it'll just turn into a therapy session.
It might be.
Yeah, we'll
No,
plan
it's
to
a
do
lot
that.
of fun, and we
Yeah.
have a lot of soloists now.
Yeah.
So that's really fun.
Yeah.
I know Carrie got quite a few people to solo.
Yeah.
And Lynette probably too. But
Yeah.
when I first started, I couldn't get anyone to solo.
Yeah. Oh,
But
yeah.
now
Carrie,
we do.
Carrie
Now we
drove
do.
me to when I was a kid. I remember that very clearly. And I played a German tune, and the judge I played for was not happy about that. In fact, I think he gave Carrie a hard time about it. He was like, why are you letting your kids play German tunes or something?
no.
Yeah. All right. Do you know where the competition is happening today?
Just on the other side of this building.
Oh, just right here. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Well, thanks, Diana.
Okay. See ya.
See ya. Oh, wait. All right, I got the windsock on the mic. Hopefully that'll help with levels. And I'm looking across the field now at Barry Shears himself. And I'm just got the butterflies in my tummy. He's actively judging, so I won't bug him right now. I can see Larry Erdman over here getting probably the staging area ready. He's measuring some stuff out. Oh, and there's Jeff the man himself. Maybe I'll go find out what it is we're working on over here. This is maybe fun radio. Maybe we're considering a different location for the competition. Some people were unhappy about it being on concrete. Maybe we're trying to put it on grass. Hey! Larry, Jeff, and Jason. How are you? Are we moving the circle over here?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
And then we're going to be on that cement.
On like
Probably
the
one
sidewalk
that's-
thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So let's.
Can-
Did you by chance get the judges' bios?
No, but I could hurry up and throw some together.
Why don't you? They're in sitting having lunch inside this.
Just inside here?
building,
Okay.
Building a circle.
I'll go in there and I'll get that done.
So. Okay.
All except for Barry though, but I know I'll just say I can look up Barry's stuff, no problem.
Okay.
I'm gonna go get the judges' bios put together for the competition, which is about to start. Well, now while the Lander Pipe Band is playing here, I can tell you spent some time running around trying to get stuff set up because these kinds of things always end up pushing to the last minute, of course. Getting chairs moved and everything. We did end up relocating the competition circle here over to the grass, which I think that the players are probably happy with. The spectators are a little bit unhappy about it. And there is that tension again, you know? Are we doing this for ourselves and each other? Are we doing it for the ticket purchasers who come? For our friends and family who come to watch us? I'm not sure still. I don't think one is better than the other necessarily. It's just something I think about, I guess. I wonder. Maybe both. Maybe sometimes one, sometimes the other. But I do have the camera with the mic on it set up to be capturing this audio hopefully more clearly, but it's in one of the few patches of shade, which means that my camera was quickly joined by several people with camp chairs, and I'm just hoping that they're not talking, so we're going to be able to have a clean capture of the audio there. But we'll see. I just realized... Oh, one of the judges, can't tell, is it maybe Jamie Cuddle? Is wearing an Isle of Skye kilt, so he's going to look like he belongs to the Garden Valley Pipe Band, and we can recruit him. I did meet Barry Shears. I was going to try to have a bottle of root beer or something in my hand for him as a gift before I met him, but the chance came upon me and I took it. And let me tell you, he's a lovely person. He's also real. It's just bizarre when you meet somebody who you've been listening to and watching and reading for a long time, you know, and you realize they're a real human. They're standing right in front of you, and you say something or ask them a question and they respond. It's a trippy kind of experience to have. What a nice guy, though. Very cool.
I can't promise good content.
Yeah, you can.
No.
Well, you don't have to promise, but I'm sure it will be good content anyway. Sure. And we can just let it roll as it is. So maybe we do like because I gotta think. Usually when I interview somebody, I have like hours, you know, something. How do I keep this brief? Maybe give me.
And you probably interview people that people want to hear from. So we're already 0 for 2.
Well, maybe
not necessarily.
I mean, I talked to Jeff once. You know, so
he's pretty interesting.
The bar is pretty low, right? But Jason Cox.
Yes.
What play with Wasatch District?
Yes.
Have you always played with Wasatch District?
No.
Is that where you started?
No, I was at Garden Valley last year.
Wait, when I wasn't at Garden Valley.
I think you were teaching lessons, but you were playing with the band.
Did I ever get to teach you?
No.
Okay, then I don't have to feel like such a jerk for not.
Yeah, I was only there for a year.
Oh, all right. So where did where did bagpipes start for you in your life? Do you remember the first time that you heard bagpipes?
It was when I was young. Yeah. I mean, but I took practice chanter lessons a long time ago when I lived in Utah before I moved down to Dallas. And then
But from whom or where were you taking the lessons when you were a kid?
Oh well, it was when I was in college when I was taking lessons. I was actually Robert Rowe, who plays with Wasatch District now, played with Utah Pipe Band. Yeah, when he was with Gallery Highlanders, I was taking.
That's where you're taking practice lessons there, huh?
Yep.
And then you moved to Dallas.
And I moved to Dallas for work and lived there for a number of years. And I kind of stopped playing for a while.
Yeah.
And then I started playing a bit with a guy down there named Matt Willis, who now is on YouTube.
Yeah,
but he wasn't on YouTube.
Matt Willis Bagpiper, full name, right?
Yes. So he was not on YouTube back then. But
so you knew him before you started?
Yeah, he started a band of his students called Metroplex United Pipe Band. They played with for a little while until I...
So you got onto pipes with him?
Correct, yeah. And then moved up here, and I lived down in Utah County, so I first went to Garden Valley last year, and then moved up to Wasatch District this year.
Yeah. Which, are you playing with their grade 4 group?
Grade 5.
With the grade 5 group? But they just barely but you were volunteering, is that why you were over
here?
Well,
no, so actually, this spring I came down with Bell's palsy.
Oh, really?
So I woke up one day and the right half of my face was paralyzed, so I'm still recovering from that. I still don't have full movement on my right side of my face, so I'm not able to play the bagpipes.
Oh, because you can't hold the lips tight?
Exactly.
Oh,
so
shoot.
I'm in recovery.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that I'll be ready to go by Payson.
Yeah, right on. Well, you got to put another month or so.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm getting close.
Have you heard of that Ebelair product? It's a device that pumps your pipes for you.
I've saw it.
You don't need it yet. No, right? You're gonna recover, right?
No, I'm recovering.
Yeah.
I do. In the meantime, though, I can play the practice chanter a bit, and I have a Blair, electronic bagpipe that I play. So So I still do lessons and stuff.
Has this made you think about drumming though too?
No, not at all.
Take that, drumming. So then, what is it that kind of like got you? Like it's an intense hobby. It's an intense thing to do. So like, what drove you to doing it and sticking with it, both in Texas and I mean across multiple moves? You've sought it out, it seems. So you kind of kept doing it.
Just love it, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of in my blood a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I feel like so. I don't know. I've always loved the bagpipes, but at various times haven't been engaged with it. But now, just in it for the long haul at this point. So.
Any other family playing pipes and drums?
Not at all.
What did the family
well,
think of it?
my son's he's not. I'm trying to convince him to play pipe band. He plays snare, but in high school in marching band. So.
Is it? I see. As not a drummer myself, I only kind of know, but so there's some difference, right? Like maybe grip difference, swing difference, something like that.
Yeah, I'm not a drummer either, so I wouldn't know. I've been told there is a difference. I don't know if it's how different it is, but some of the rudiments are different.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's some different techniques. So
I hear people talk about Swiss drumming, and I don't know what that means exactly, whether that's influential on pipe band drumming or something like that. Yeah. So then, what did your family think of it, other than trying to convince your son to play along with you? Is it something that has helped you in your relationships, or is it a burden to be dealt with?
It's kind of more of the latter. I think. Matter of fact, when I was younger, when I had young kids at home, that was one of the challenges. Is it's so loud, and when you have young children and they go to sleep early, and you don't have a dedicated place to practice, it's hard to practice, and you're not practicing consistently. It's hard to make progress, and that was one.
Was that when you got the Blair chanter?
No. I got the Blair chanter after I got this Bell's palsy.
Yeah, so too late
that's
for
recent.
the young
It was an excuse.
Yeah, that's
right. Back then I don't think the Blair existed, but
so now we can all have this perverse desire that we might wake up with Bell's palsy, so that we'll have an excuse to buy a Blair chanter.
It is a good excuse.
Yeah, I think you used it. So we can use our kids as excuses for all kinds of things, can't we?
Whatever works, right? No judgment.
Yeah. So then, is your family like tired enough of it that you have to find somewhere else to go play, or just use your Blair chanter, or
no? Now I'm blessed with I have a practice space that I can go to, and my family and pets. I think more. I just don't care what they think anymore.
There you go.
I think is really what
that's one strategy. Yeah.
And neighbors too. You have to just
neighbors.
They don't matter.
I do find with the bagpipes, it tends to be you either like them or you hate them. There's very little middle ground.
Yeah,
right? You're like, it's okay. I don't know. I've never met that person. Who is like just on the fence. Doesn't really have an opinion.
The neighbors on one side of my house, that house has changed ownership 3, maybe 4 times
because of bagpiping.
I wonder. I've got to wonder.
Maybe an anonymous neighborhood survey.
Yeah, might be in order. Yeah.
You haven't gotten a notice from your HOA or anything. So.
Right, nothing like that yet. So then, what keeps it fresh for you? What keeps it interesting? After years of doing it, what gets you excited these days?
I think my personality, I tend to be relatively competitive and
wait a minute.
And I like just the challenge of it a bit more. I'm one that I think being with the band where there's a spirit of competition, I think kind of pushes me, where you try to keep up with the rest of the band and have other players that you can aspire to be like them, and I think there's a lot of great players in Utah now, and I think being around in that environment, I think, can be inspiring.
Wasatch District is a great place to be.
They have some fantastic, I would say some of the best pipers in Utah. Not all, but some of.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not in Wasatch District, so there's at least one.
There's that. No, there's some great players, but it is fun to listen to those guys play and gals.
That's a really good place to be for that kind of. So have you done other? Like, has that sort of competitive edge of your personality found other outlets? Like, were you a sports guy or?
I do some CrossFit. On the side, I was used to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, stuff like that.
Oh, right on. Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah. So it's not just piping then that gets that out of you. So what about favorites for consumption? People to watch, people to listen to, bands that you like listening to. Any favorites there?
Oh, man, I've really gotten into listening to P-Rock.
Yeah.
And now that I understand it a little better,
That helps, right?
Yeah, no, for sure.
So I've heard. I don't understand it well myself.
No,
but-
I don't claim to understand. I think most of it is you just act like you understand it.
Yeah.
And then you try to get there. No, so I really like that. I mean, I listen to, shout out, right? I do the Dojo University as well.
Yeah.
And one of the things that they talk about is, immersion,
Yes.
right? So trying to just listen to high-level piping,
Yeah.
with the goal of 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
So I've got various Spotify playlists that
Yeah.
I go through and just listen to. So I love, the top pipe band, Field Marshal, Inverary.
Yeah.
I love listening to the Worlds, and was listening to some of the recent British and UK championships.
Yeah.
So that's great. Went to Winter Storm this year and
Yeah.
listened
I
to a
still
lot
haven't
of
been.
those.
Is it pretty awesome? Seems like it's pretty awesome.
I mean, it's phenomenal, and then the concert is awesome. You get to hear the greats right out there. Callum Beaumont.
Yeah. Fred Morrison too. Right?
Fred Morrison was there. He's so talented.
Yeah.
He can play Highland pipes, small pipes, whatever.
Zone
Everything.
pipes,
Seems like
yeah,
everything, right?
Yeah. So if you're trying to listen to 2 hours a day, I'm trying to work up a P-Rock joke. Is that two P-Rocks right in your set?
Could be
something like that. Have you played P-Rock yourself yet?
No, I haven't. It's on my list of things to start this year. So
do you know which one you would start with, or do you have a short list?
Well, so I would play in the grade 4. So there's a list, an approved, a recommended list on the association website that they suggest, and there's about 12 or 15 on there. So I've been going through and listening to them, but I haven't started one yet. So
yeah, no, that makes sense. So now you're here volunteering.
Yes.
Did Jeff twist your arm, or how'd they convince you to
No,
help
so
with the
I
game?
was registered to compete, but
Yeah.
hoping that my recovery would be to the point where I could play. But I wasn't quite ready, so I figured I still want to be involved. So I reached out to Jeff when I told him to take my name off the competitor list and asked if they needed help. So
that's very cool of you. Have you helped like stewarding or anything like that before?
yeah,
or is this
last
the
year
first
at
time?
Payson, I helped as well. So I think it's a great opportunity for people that want to compete to kind of get over how it goes down, right? Like you get to kind of meet the judges and observe and kind of see behind the scenes. I think it might take some of the nerves away.
Makes it a little less scary, huh?
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
You see the mechanics of it all, and
yeah. Well, so let's. This is totally on the fly. Like I wasn't planning. Thank you very much for being willing to give it a try. What's something that we could like send, like a send off kind of thing? Maybe like a suggestion, whether it's like words of wisdom, things that you've learned, or things that are valuable to you in terms of your passion for music or your playing, or a suggestion for listening. If there's a track in particular you think is really good, what's something like a piece that we could, a little thing we could drop for the audience here to go away with. Take your time. No pressure or rush.
No, I think, not that I'm one to make recommendations or people should listen to anything that I have to say, but I would think just for me, one of the things that I try to remind myself, because I do, like, you focus on improvement and getting better and those types of things, right? And piping is definitely something that can be frustrating, right? It takes passion and patience. But I think just remembering that it's also supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
Right? And just remembering that this hobby that we all enjoy is fun and it's awesome to be a part of, and shouldn't take it for granted. And then as far as like what to listen to, I was just telling you before this, SFU's new medley that starts with Punch It Chewy. Check it out.
Yeah, I haven't heard it yet. I'm gonna go check that out myself.
Yeah, they're gonna debut it at the Worlds this year. So
excellent. Cool. Okay. Jason Cox, right?
Yes, sir.
I'll make sure I write it down so I have it spelled correctly. But perfect. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
That's excellent. The Salt Lake Scots, ladies and gentlemen. Their grade 4 group playing a medley for us. Led by Chris Johnson. Chris, I don't know if you can hear me, but check your socks for ants. You were stomping the crap out of an anthill there. It looked cool, but they were probably not happy. That concludes the grade 4 medley competition for today. We still have one more band coming out to play for us here in about 10 minutes. It's something of a treat for us. Wasatch and District's grade 2 band doesn't have any contemporaries here at the games today, but they're going to play for us anyway. The grade 2 band, that's a pretty high degree of proficiency, skill, and ability. They're going to play a medley for us today. They'll be led by Ross Morrill, who is a great bagpipe player, teacher, and maker, and has made the sets of pipes that a lot of the pipe band members here about to play for us are playing today. Their pipe sergeant, Tyler Johnson, will be helping to lead the band. They'll be up to the line here within the next about 10 minutes.
Most of the players in the grade 2 play.
Do they not? Oh well. Yeah, I know Tyler's not. I know he used to, but he was just telling me he's got some nails now.
Yeah.
Lots of. I know that there are a few Athertons in the group. So.
Yeah. Mike got some Athertons. He's playing now.
Well, now I'm walking across the fairgrounds trying real hard to find an ATM because Barry Shears brought all of his books from what it looks like, but only like 3 or 4 copies of each one. And he's about to teach a clinic for all the pipers. And so I'm sure other people are going to buy them before I can get to them. But it only takes cash or check. I don't have those things. Dagnabbit. So gotta go find an ATM real quick here. Oh, as I'm walking across, I know I can hear the Tinkers because I recognize that dig set that has the singing and such layering into it. I don't know if the mic's picking that up. I must have the Tinkers on the outdoor stage this time since I'm hearing them so clear. Well, maybe not, I don't know. They crank those guys up loud. Oh, sorry. It's hard to tell actually from here. The Tinkers might be playing live, but that might just be filler music being played from their album in between other groups or something. Getting closer now, so maybe you'll be able to hear it. No, yeah, that's them. There they are. I like those guys. It's a cool group. They're fun. I wish Aaron Shaw would put out a tune book. It's got some great tunes. I haven't used an ATM in years, but I think I got this thing to work. I think I've done it. Yes, yes, yes. All right, now as long as I don't get mugged on the way back to the building, I'm gonna buy the full Barry Shears library. Oh, Highland Dancing. They're doing hornpipes. And we'll see if I can convince Barry to also sign all of the books. Every single one of them. And then the next time they go completely out of stock, I'll sell them for many times the original price. Just kidding. I'm walking into the building now. Oh, he's giving his workshop. He's doing the workshop right now.
Yeah, that is really good. You're the bass player, right? Yes. I love watching you play. Oh, thanks. I'm sure you hear that a lot.
I have cash.
Not that much.
I expected as soon as all these pipers came in that they would be gone.
Oh,
so that's
I bet
why.
afterwards they will be.
So I'm gonna move quick then. I just want one of each.
You need 5 back.
So he's going to sing the reel now. Oh, sorry. He was in his late 80s when I recorded that, but he's long dead now. So hopefully the relationship between language and music, they were dependent on one another. And when the language started to die off, sort of the old style of playing. Here's a great shot of 3 piper fiddlers in Cape Breton, and look at the way they're holding the instruments. So there's no rhyme or reason One guy's got the bag in the right hand, the other one's,
Classic?
yeah. Yeah, and they're all fiddlers, and they all have dance experience. So this is Angus Campbell Beaton. This is Alec Anuish New. He was a McFarlane. Alan Black Angus, and that's Black Angus McDonald from Mount Young.
Well, I just spent an unexpected fortune on the Barry Shears library, but I can't say I'm unhappy about it. Actually, I'm not sure what all books he's written and published and put out. Oh, gotta turn that heat down again, my goodness. Heidi, you want some help carrying your stuff?
You want to help me carry my
Yeah.
stuff?
Tell you what, if you'll talk to me while we walk, I'll carry your stuff.
Okay.
Is that a deal?
That's a deal.
I can carry more than that. Here, I'll put that over my arm.
Are you
Just
sure?
Put that in my hand here.
It was just falling off.
Heidi.
Your clothes.
I know, right? I've thought for years that I should try to do some kind of from the field episode for the podcast. That's what I'm trying to do now.
I see.
I don't know how it'll go, but we'll see.
See how it goes.
But yeah, I did feel guilt walking in here and seeing everybody at attention in the mass bands, being like, "Oh, I'm just wearing t-shirts and shorts. I'm so comfy."
You should feel really bad about that.
Yeah, thanks. I do. I asked Al if I should feel guilty, and he was like, "No, it's fine. It's fine. You go ahead and relax." So easy for him to say, right?
Right. Well, I mean, I think that's what all of us mean, but we want you to feel bad about it.
Right. Yeah. So, Garden Valley Pipe Band, grade 5, quick march medley today.
Yeah.
And you were on tenor drum, right?
Yeah.
So, what's the story with focal dystonia these days? Is it still bugging you? Are you finding ways to get around it, or just embracing tenor drumming helping?
So I can play snare for short stints depending on the day.
Okay.
Some days I can play for longer.
Yeah.
And some days I can't. And it's totally random, who knows?
Yeah.
But I totally listened to your podcast about with that.
With Ruth Childs, yeah.
Yes, and I bought her book, so.
I wonder if it'll help. It was not what I expected, you know.
Really?
Yeah,
Have you read the book?
No, yeah, and it definitely wasn't what I was thinking of when I thought it was going to be about how to fix your fingers.
Ah.
Instead of being about like your brain and your nerves and all kinds of stuff, you know.
Well, I think that's because that's the issue, is your brain.
Right. The problem is your
fingers.
brain.
The problem is your brain. That's the thing that's sending the signal wrong, and that's why you're having a hard time with it.
After doing that interview with her, I was talking to my brother-in-law, who played baseball in college, and because until I read her book, I didn't know about it happening in sports and get people getting what they call the yips.
I've heard of the yips, but I didn't realize it was the same thing.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of it, but yeah, I guess it's the same thing. And he was telling me that there's a lot of acupuncture that happens in the sporting world that's supposed to help with relaxing that fascia. The fascia. I know Sean did Botox injections.
Yeah.
In like his forearms.
Yeah, and he said it was good for about 3 weeks in the middle of it.
Huh.
It's like right after the shot, it wasn't working, and then he'd have about a good 3 weeks where he could do whatever with his hands.
Yeah.
And then the 3 weeks as it's wearing off before he gets the next shot, he couldn't really do much with his hand. So.
Well, so have you tried any of that other stuff, or are you going the Ruth Childs route to start with and see what else happens? Or?
I have done physical therapy.
Yeah.
And I've done some massage and scraping of the scar tissue in your arms.
Oh, interesting. That sounds
stretching.
Painful. Scraping scar tissue doesn't sound nice.
Kind of is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've done those things, and it helped a little bit, but not enough that I could compete.
I see.
Playing snare, so.
I'm gonna try turning up our signal a little bit. That's the other thing that I'm not sure about recording in the field. So I don't know what the audio results are gonna be.
Oh, right.
We've talked about doing this for such a long time, and I've just thought, let's just try it. Let's just see what happens. So.
Why not?
Yeah.
you want to come to the festival but not have to be all hot and gross? Why not?
So I was thinking about that, Heidi. Speaking of showing up in t-shirts and shorts, I really do think kilts are cool, but I think it's the socks.
It's the socks.
It is, right?
Yeah.
That's what's unpleasant.
Yeah.
So
like, if I was just wearing my kilt and sandals right now, I'd be fine.
Yes, kilt and sandals, that's the way to go.
Yes.
So could we get away with that? I can't remember now. I remember that they made headgear required, but they weren't specific about what kind.
Oh, sweet. So we could wear like music hats.
I think we could, yeah. So
I think we should do it.
We should look back at the bylaws and see what exactly is required. Maybe we could get away with just like leather sandals. That would be comfy.
That would be amazing.
We'd be the envy of the entire competition.
Right? Yeah.
So now with the dystonia, Heidi, honestly, sometimes I feel like, I'm so interested in it because you and so many of our other friends too deal with it.
Yeah.
I think maybe I'm interested for selfish reasons because I'm terrified of it.
I don't blame you.
I want there to be a solution before I get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as a person who's dealing with it, do you ever get tired of people who aren't dealing with it asking you about it? Like, oh, that, like, if you have somebody coming up to you all the time being like, that must suck, you know? Like, do you get tired of hearing that, or does it feel like sympathy, or does it just feel like I'm saying, sucks to be you, lucky I don't have it, you know?
I don't feel like that. I don't feel like people ask all the time about it. I think I deal with it more when I'm training new drummers. And I'm like, look, my arm's gonna twitch.
Don't copy that part.
Don't do that.
Do what I'm doing except for that part.
Yeah. Listen to what I'm saying. And I'm like, and I'm gonna switch my hand hold as I'm playing. I'm like, don't follow me.
I'm gonna switch sides so I can switch which hand I'm using. My forearm is burning.
What? You need to carry heavy things.
I wish I were. I do. I'm so soft. Oh, at work the other day, there was some stuff that needed stacked on some shelves, and the other person did it really easily, and I didn't do it very easily. Then we were packaging up like a pallet, and we had to crimp on the little metal things that hold the pallet ties together, you know? He did it easily. I was struggling to crimp it, and he stepped over to help, and I was like, no, let me have this. Yeah, I need to carry heavy things more often, definitely.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast, and they said
carry heavy things?
One of the things that predicts how you age is your grip.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrifying. I wish I didn't just barely switch which hand I was using to grip this drum.
No, because now you have to even yourself out.
Yeah.
You got to get the other hand.
I feel that way. Do you ever feel that way where, like, if you get punched in one arm, you'll punch the other arm yourself on purpose to make them feel even?
No.
I do that. I have to feel even on both sides.
That's funny. No, I don't intentionally hurt myself.
Well, speaking of carrying heavy things, though, has it manifested in any other part of your life, like any other tasks that you're doing, that does the dystonia come up?
Right when I realized I had dystonia, I would notice it when I would hold paper.
Oh.
It was...
As a teacher, is that a thing you do a lot? And so
Well, I'd just be holding a piece of paper walking down the hall.
Yeah.
And my hand would be twitching and like lose grip.
Oh, interesting.
And I think, so mine started, I was dropping my sticks all the time.
And just like, what the heck?
Yeah, and so then I think to compensate for that, I went too far the other way.
Did you like grip harder?
Like grip harder.
Yeah.
And
kind of overstressing yourself in that way?
Yeah, and then it started doing the overpronating and...
Is that where your hand like opens?
It's where it starts
grips
to
tight?
turn.
Oh, pronated. Oh, gotcha.
So, to describe this.
Yeah,
so
in
if
audio,
you were to
right?
hold your hand out,
yeah.
like you were shaking somebody's hand, and your hand would turn with your hand going down first and then out to the side, and then as if it's going to try and turn back up to the sky. But your hand doesn't go that way.
Yeah, hands don't do that. That's weird.
So that's overpronating, and that really can hurt.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
When your hand is doing that,
I can imagine that.
Just are so tight in your forearm all the way up that it's
drive you to drop your sticks too, right?
Yeah.
Is it always your left hand, or is it?
It's only been my left hand.
That's interesting. But you're right-handed, right?
But I'm right-handed.
That is something that Ruth talked about, being maybe like the neural pathways that are weaker to start with, maybe are the ones that show it first.
So left ring finger is often like the early...
Interesting.
Because there's such a weak connection to your ring fingers in the first place, and then if you're right hand dominant, you'll have a stronger connection to your right hand.
Huh. I
Here,
could see that. That's
let me see, how can I'm trying to hold the microphone and be helpful.
Well, at this point, I just gotta throw everything in.
Just like that?
Yeah. And then just...
Kind of sandwich between, maybe?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Is Garden Valley coming back tomorrow, or is that it for this year?
That's it for this competition. We'll do Payson.
Yeah.
It's Father's Day weekend.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And people in my pipe band have plans.
Yeah.
They're like, it's Father's Day. We have family stuff. So.
I have so many kids. Maybe I have plans. I should ask my kids if I have plans.
We were debating, how many kids do you have now?
I have 5.
Oh, only 5. We were thinking 6 to 10.
No! We love every single one of them, and we have exactly the right amount.
Not more than, huh?
That's exactly the right. That is so exactly right. Well, maybe I'll, depending on how this goes, maybe I'll try to do something at Payson Games and catch up with you there then too.
Yeah. Yeah, like I put that in there. For a while there, we were practicing some harder fun music.
Yeah.
At pipe band, and it was so much fun, and we were playing some band during the pandemic did a bagpipe version of Sound of Silence.
Yeah, I remember that. That was really cool, yeah.
And the drum part is really awesome.
Was it Waken District?
I think it might have been, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, whoever it was, that was cool, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And so I started playing that, and I could play it.
Ah.
And then after a couple weeks, my hands started freaking out, and I'm like, what?
Interesting.
But it could just be like, if it really is in the brain and it's not necessarily about the muscles, then it could be the stress that I've been dealing with work that maybe is contributing to it.
Do you think part of that, maybe the Sound of Silence thing, maybe it's different than competition music, and so maybe that's part of why it became possible to do, but then other stressors might have come in to still make you tighten up or something like that?
That could be.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my plan is to read her book and do the things that she says to do and see if that helps, because if I could play snare again, it would be a miracle. It'd be so awesome.
Your flourishes looked great on the tenor, so it's not like you'd be doing wrong to play tenor for the rest of your life. But of course, snare's your thing. So
yeah, snare music's easier to memorize because you don't have to memorize counts.
Oh,
you don't have to memorize.
I hadn't thought of that before. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like all
once you're
going
something
in a row, and then like
you never stop.
Tenor drum, there's so much rests in there that you're like, okay.
That is what's stressful, right? After a rest, am I coming in at the right time?
Yeah.
That's always the scariest part.
Yeah.
If you just never have to stop, you never have to stop.
It's so much easier. Yeah, but it doesn't affect me when I'm playing tenor.
Interesting.
It's just snare. Occasionally when I'm playing piano, I will feel it start to tense up, but it's not
the same. Not to the same degree.
Yeah.
Well,
interesting.
That is interesting. All right, well, thank you, Heidi. Drive safely.
Thanks,
Oh,
James.
here, have a sticker.
Okay.
This is.
I like your microphone mount.
Thank you. It is the only thing that I feel confident about. Everything else I do, I feel very unconfident, but I feel like this 100%. I feel good about it. I put the yellow hemp there on purpose, actually.
Oh, really?
It didn't used to have yellow unwaxed hemp there. I just thought, to complete the aesthetic, I need some wild unwaxed yellow hemp just like dangling off the sides there.
Nice. I like it.
Thanks, Heidi.
Thanks, James.
Drive
Good to
safely.
see you.
Yep, see you at Payson for sure.
Okay, see you at Payson.
Heidi's so great. So now I'm just walking back over to the grounds again, and this might be it for today. I think Barry's probably almost done with his presentation, so I'm going to go see if I can convince him to sign every single book and see if I can find some vendors who might still be open selling some cool stuff I could take home to my kids, because I left my kids and my wife all day to hang out here and have fun, which is fun, but they're a bunch of sweeties for letting me, so let's see if I can get back to them with a little show of appreciation. Last year I took home foam swords for all the kids. That was a big hit and freaking adorable, especially because some of our kids look so much like hobbits. Our penultimate child looks just like a baby hobbit right now. He's got long brown curly hair and these chubby little cheeks and everything, and he's got a little foam sting to run around with. So anyway, let's see what we can find. I'm heading back to Barry's workshop by way of the vendor alley. Hoping to find there's Scotch eggs. Those are good. I know that there's been a vendor at these before that does like cool looking glass bottles of root beer that I think are maybe refillable. Like they'll refill them if you keep bringing the bottle back, kind of thing. And since I can't buy whiskey to give to Barry in Jeremy Kingsbury's name, maybe it would be location appropriate and funny and fun to give him a big bottle of root beer. I'm not seeing that vendor now. Oh, I do see some live music happening though. We'll go see if we can capture a little taste of that. Oh, this is the stage where the Tinkers were just a minute ago. They still got their super big didge sitting there. Seeing a bowron and a guitar. They're still getting set up for their set there. Oh, maybe I'll go over to the Tinker's tent. See what's going on over that away. Oh, there's Aaron Shaw, but he's engaged in deep conversation with someone. Can't interrupt that.
Beautiful, right? He's over in Seattle. Look at these walls. Yeah. That's one of yours. Yeah. We should have a small pipe session. That's what I said. It was the best one. We need to put first Gaelic song composed in North America, in North Carolina. North Carolina.
You put some new tunes in here.
Yeah.
Did you find one that shows like your G and
the G or the high and B or the
the high notes?
Yeah. Okay. So go to the last three are the high B. They're
can't write them all by.
I can't. I don't have them memorized. It's for Ireland and I'm telling you here. Okay, right there. You guys play that one?
Yeah, this is great. Man. Must play one of the
well, the high B makes such a.
This is an endangered species. If you want to grab one of these, but he definitely makes use of the top.
I sold over almost 4,000 of those, so I did an anniversary edition, and I didn't want to charge people that bought the book before, so I added 32 tunes in. So I've updated it with all the tunes except 5 are my arrangements of it, but.
For tunes that I've heard, I don't know how many times, like, you know, the person, Friar,
The Gravel Walk?
Or that one, the Gravel Walk, yeah, all the different names it's gone under. It's like hearing it for the first time when you play the feeling, the emotion, your lilt, or something like that.
It's not that hard to learn any, and it's like, and I'm like everybody else.
Sure.
They give you a page of theory from a music, it's a music book, like a 200-page book, and they say, okay, go play the pipes. And so they give you enough information to do damage to yourself, because you don't know about metric accent and simple and compound time, and those are essentials if you're going to, like, jigs. I listened to some jigs today, and I'm just thinking, just like do the phrasing a bit more, because we're always told, and I taught that myself in militia reserves, 2-bar phrases, but quite often that's not the case. And when you've got that double tonic, sometimes that indicates the phrase, right? So this is an old-timey tune. But what you're doing, you're not reading it, you're not playing in a straight line. You're stealing from some notes and adding that time to other notes. And you're clipping the notes, but taking the next phrase. Usually it's the note before the bar sometimes. And that works in all the tunes.
Well, that's day one down. Barry went on to talk and play for a long time, and it was a lot of fun to be there listening to him. What a smart dude. What a cool dude. What a fun dude. But heading home now, and probably gonna try to do a little more audio capturing tomorrow, and then we'll see what comes of this as an episode. And maybe I'll say it now so I don't need to edit it in post. However this all comes together, whatever comes of it, I would welcome, invite, even encourage anyone to write into the show. Let me know what things about it you might think maybe you enjoyed, thought was fun, things you didn't think were so much fun, ideas that might have come to you for what might make for a fun in the field episode in the future. Etc. I'd be all for hearing if you have any thoughts in that regard. Now I'm gonna listen to the CD that came with one of the several Barry Shears books I just bought. as I drive home. GPS says it'll only be about 40 minutes, so traffic must not be too bad this Saturday evening.